Welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to carry out thin layer chromatography, or TLC. When you come into the lab, you need to be wearing your lab coat fully done up and have your safety glasses on and over your eyes. All of the lab scripts contain COSH and risk assessment information, and you need to have read this before you start working. To carry out your TLC, you'll have certain things. You will have a TLC tank, there's TLC solvent, you will have TLC plates, got spotters for loading. You should have a ruler and a pencil, ethanol for dissolving your unknowns and your sample in, and you'll have Eppendorfs with your samples in and your unknown. So I'm doing aspirin, ibuprofen and paracetamol, and I've got an unknown. My standards are pre-dissolved in ethanol. Yours may be, or you might need to do it. You need to get the empty Eppendorf tube, and you need to put a little bit of your unknown in it. So, just the head of a micro spatula. And then you're going to use some ethanol. To dissolve it, and give it a little shake, and it's all dissolved. Next, set up your TLC tank. So that's just a beaker and a watch glass. The watch glass is just to cut down the evaporation of the solvent. You need about 5 millimeters. Now you've got your TLC plate. I've got gloves on, so I'm not touching and damaging the TLC plate. If you aren't wearing gloves, make sure you're only touching it at the sides. Now, there's two sides to the TLC plate. There's the side with the silica, and there's a shiny side. You are going to be putting your samples and writing on the non-shiny side, the side where the silica is. So the first thing you're going to do is draw a pencil line about 1 centimetre up. And I'm going to write above where I'm going to have the 4 positions what I'm putting in. So I've got aspirin, ibuprofen, paracetamol and my unknown. So next you're going to need to load your samples. So we've got spotters for that. So 4 samples and an unknown, so I need 4. And I've got my samples in the order that I'm going to load them. So open, go on, and then I'm just making a small spot. So that's my aspirin. Ibuprofen, small spot, paracetamol, unknown, and then let my spots dry, and then it's into the TLC plate. So you take the watch glass off and you place it in, and you can see that the solvent line is below my pencil line. So I'm just going to put the watch glass on top, and then I'm going to wait for capillary action to take the solvent up and to move my spots up the plate, and I'm going to leave it in there till it's around 1 centimetre from the top of the plate. So my TLC plate has now been in the tank long enough because the solvent has reached about 1 centimetre from the top. So I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to carefully draw a pencil line about where the top is, and then just keep holding it by the edges. I'm going to put it somewhere so it can dry. Now the plate is dry, I'm taking it over to where the UV is, and we've turned the lights off. You want it on position 1, and you want to hold the UV light so that you can see the plate on the bench, but don't look into the UV light. If you're working in a pair, get one person to hold the light and the other one to draw the pencil lines, because you're going to draw pencil lines around your spots. The silica plate is glowing green in the UV light. Where you have got a spot, it's blocking that out, so it appears as a dark shadow. You can only see these spots under UV light, so you need to draw around them with a pencil line. Now I've drawn around with my pencil lines, the spots are all clearly visible, and you can now see that my unknown was aspirin. For part of your analysis, you do need to work out the RF value, so you are going to measure the distance from the solvent line to the middle of your spot and the distance from the pencil line to your solvent front. Thanks for watching, and if you've any questions, send me an email.